If you're not doing this with your Facebook ads, then you are massively missing out. Now you may well be thinking, why is so-called SEO Jesus on about paid ads all the time at the moment? Well, the fact is, it's just got far easier. Facebook's been getting better and better at targeting over the last few years, but now with recent AI updates from ChatGPT, the game has changed completely. And the vast majority of successful agency owners I meet do tend to scale with Facebook ads. Now it's true, we should be ranking our own websites. Many of us do. I've got a few exact match domains for my agency that rank for specific SEO agency terms using my one-page websites method of AI content on an exact match domain, and that can therefore send me leads for very niche SEO agency terms. But doing that, you're always working with the bottom of the funnel, which is why SEO converts so well. So if you need an emergency plumber or a locksmith or a particular kind of insurance product, then it's very likely that SEO is going to be the way to go, because those customers are Googling it and they need a solution now. But that's not the same for every industry, and especially when it comes to consulting, agencies, service businesses, the bottom of the funnel really is quite small in terms of who is looking for a solution right now. And so it's really worth your while going beyond a single channel and trying to reach all those audiences who haven't even thought about your solution yet. They're not problem aware. Every business owner who's just started a website, or every local contractor who needs to set up their Google business profile and get that ranking on Google Maps. Now, Facebook ads are a really good way of reaching exactly those people by training your pixel and therefore having Facebook identify all the commonalities of the types of people who do fill in your lead application form and then ultimately become clients. Now, if you are interested in scaling your agency to 50 grand a month and more using a sustainable Facebook ad funnel, then click the link below. It is a key part of my agency training course that's coming up. And as usual, if you sign up on the list, there will be a limited number of free places available as a lottery when we launch. On the other hand, if you don't have an agency and you just want to learn about AI info product funnels, this is how I'm now using AI to very quickly create high quality info products and ebooks, all based on my own training data, producing these books of 10 to 20,000 words, generating a really effective landing page in just 5 minutes with AI, and then using that product with Facebook ads to basically cover my ad cost and grow a massive email list of verified buyers. Then again, I'll leave a link below. No one else is doing this. This is a brand new process. Create the product from your own training data, knock out the sales page really quickly using top performing direct response copywriting techniques, and then use the ads I'm going to tell you about in this video to generate massive cheap traffic to those products, so you can grow a list of qualified, targeted buyers, grow that list for free, and keep on selling to that audience and ascend them into your higher ticket offers. And let's not forget, one of the best things about Facebook ads, or indeed any paid ads channel, is you're playing by the rules of the game. People argue about white hat versus black hat SEO, but the fact is, even if you are the cleanest white hat, if you are trying to manipulate rankings by reverse engineering the Google search algorithm, then arguably that is black hat by its very definition. So therefore, doing any SEO at all is technically going against the meritocracy that Google wants to provide, of ranking organic listings purely based on merit. But meanwhile, you're probably familiar with that sense of an uphill struggle and update, whereas as soon as you're into a paid ads channel, you're generally playing by the rules of that platform. And if you can make that funnel work, then the world's your oyster. You can scale it, and although there are still updates and threats, generally speaking, a funnel like that works can be applied to all sorts of different paid ads platforms. But the issue where people most get stuck with paid ads is with creatives. Let me just show you an example. If I go right back to a couple of years ago when I was specializing in SEO for high-ticket coaches, there's always that sense of wanting to be on brand and try and make your Facebook ad look like a really high-end piece of graphic design. So you know it needs to look branded, it needs to look tidy. And of course you want to test different hooks and different copywriting. Now what most of us do, myself included, is we'll generate a few of these, we've got a few variations, you put some budget behind it, you leave it for a few weeks and months, and maybe you get results, maybe you don't. The fact is, you're just not testing enough creatives. Because rather like with SEO, you don't actually know what's going to work. You want to take far more of a shotgun approach to maximize your chances of success. And that's why I've created this infographic here, because you could just be one ad creative away from that one image that totally transforms your ad campaign. Now let me show you what I mean. If I go to my agency ads, in this case, if we scroll down here, you'll see that I've now spent 13,000 British pounds on this particular campaign. And we definitely had a winner. There was an image that Facebook clearly preferred and thought got better results. So just one creative has ended up taking up £6,500 off. And meanwhile, we'll try to phase out and turn off those that were generally running at a loss. So some leads were getting leads in for £65 to £100, but then I tried recreating the famous Kanye meme, and that was costing us £500 to acquire a lead. And so, as with all marketing here, The game is all about challenging your assumptions. Just what you think would make a great ad, the chances are you're going to be wrong. I've been in entrepreneurship 10 years now, and I can just tell you flat out, you are going to be wrong so many more times than you're right. And so the challenge with Facebook ads is, how do you produce enough ads sustainably that you keep on testing different angles? And let's not forget, I thought I was doing good testing here because I was doing single variables, so I kept the graphic the same, but then I was trying different hooks and headlines and copywriting. So all kinds of different slogans, hopefully maximizing my chances of finding a winner. But it's still not enough unless you're coming in every week, every month, and reviewing what's performing, what's not, and doing loads more tests. Then you're probably going to get left behind. Not forgetting that ads fatigue. There's only going to be so many people in your chosen market. The chances are you are going to be hitting the same people again and again if you run that campaign over months and months. And so they do get blind. There is banner blindness. So you need to keep your campaigns fresh and keep on coming up with new creatives, whilst also trying to find those winning creatives that just outperform everything else. It's 80-20. A small number of your creatives are going to drive the vast majority of your results. But now the answer is here thanks to ChatGPT's new image update. It's made it so much easier to test out all kinds of wildly different creatives. So when I'm in my feed, I tend to notice interesting ads and I'll try and save them, screenshot them, add them to a swipe file in order to test as future reference. So we've got Apple Notes, multiple variations of that. I've seen post-it notes have been quite successful, so I've done lots of post-it notes. Everyone's creating action figures. I did this mainly for fun, but I thought, why not put that into my ad campaign? The results of this will shock you. We'll come on to that in a minute. I tried doing guru-style lifestyle imagery. Remember, Facebook's a social platform, so you're more likely to get results if your ad doesn't actually look like an ad. I tried going for more slightly lewd and suggestive images. Some people report having great results with that. And then finally, pure lifestyle. Literally looks like just another Facebook post. Tried recreating the Kanye meme again here. Didn't quite work out with the text that time. So I've been running this for a few days, just on a very small tester budget. And the results are amazing. And so far, it's actually what I'm calling the hustle bro image, the lifestyle image, that's actually winning. Overall CTR is 22%, and the link click-through rate, so the actual link through to the offer, 8.7%, and then the next best performer is actually the action figure. Now I was uploading these images to Facebook ads thinking the action figure was just for fun, that wasn't actually meant to be an ad, but then I thought, why not? It looks like a really good e-com product that's going to stop the scroll and get some attention. And there we have it, 9.4% CTR, with a 3.25% link click-through rate through to the offer. And then the product mock-ups themselves, not doing too badly. So that's just a plain simple product mock-up. They're at around 5 and 6% for CTR and then 3% link CTR. Now let's just compare that to the ads that I've been running for a few months that were a bit more basic, a bit more corporate. So if we scroll over here, we'll see the overall CTR never really went above 3%. In fact, the biggest one, 3.28%. And then link click-through rate never actually went above 1.35%. Now there is a caveat here. Like I say, when you run ads for a long time, they do decay over time. So you tend to get better performance in the beginning and then they do tend to wear off. So this is several months of performance here, whereas these ones are only a few days old. But let's face it, the action figure, 35 link clicks at a 3.25% link click-through rate, that's already dominating, and that's an ad I never actually intended to run. Imagine I was still working in Canva like in the old days, and I'm trying to come up with ad variations, where in this case I'm lazy. All I've been doing is duplicating the page and then changing this bit of text here. Whereas here, I just literally sat on the sofa with my phone on ChatGPT, I was watching TV, I would just say, give me another variation. Now give me a post-it note. Now give me an Apple Note. Next up, I should try a WhatsApp message. And what this is allowing you to do is absolutely maximize your chance of being this guy. So rather than being where I was a few years ago, putting together maybe 4 or 5 creatives, putting some spend behind them and then finding nothing's really working. Instead, I've already done 20 ads already for this campaign, and 80-20 is now working in our favor. We've already found 2 top performing ads. So we're going to be able to reach this point, find the gold much faster. And even when we find it, we can take that data and start iterating on it much quicker. If the action figure is the top performer, let's do more action figures, more physical products. We can keep the same concept, but keep the actual ad copy really fresh. Now, if this is useful to you, I'm going to be doing a lot more on Facebook ads for agencies in my agency training. So if you click the link below, you can sign up to receive that course when it launches. Now, interesting thing about this page, this is still my old method of building pages, where I just built it manually in Elementor. And despite studying history of art, being an art fan, I am terrible at web design. And this looks really basic. So let me show you my new process for building landing pages, which now builds pages like this that look much better, much more sense. So I'm going to go to View Page Source, I'm going to copy all of this, and I'm going to go over to Claude, where I've already been training Claude with the page structures of top performing landing pages. So now I just say, give me a powerful sales page for this course sign up page. Note that it's just a free pre-launch. Do not include anything inaccurate. And then I paste in that source code. Now you might be thinking, why not just generate a page from Claude from scratch? Well, this page is full of images that are hosted on my site. So by giving the source code, Claude can actually reference these image URLs to pull it into the new page design. So now while we wait, we're going to do edit with Elementor. Now you might be thinking, why are you using Elementor when you can just host your pages statically? Well, I still like Elementor, I still like the flexibility and actually being able to edit with drag and drop. So for now, I just add a HTML code block to Elementor. So we'll just wait for our page to finish. So what's actually in this training data, I've given it top performing sales pages by direct response copywriters. And I also tell Claude to basically behave like a top performing copywriter, someone who studied under Dan Kennedy or Gary Halbert. These are much more like traditional ad men rather than digital marketers. Okay, there's the page generated. So it's always a bit of a leap of faith to find out if it's actually going to work. Let's have a go. So I copy that, come to my HTML block, and there it is in Elementor. So the image layout isn't as good as it could be. The button isn't that great, but overall this looks pretty good. So we've got much more copywriting, much more of an accessible graphical page that explains the benefits of the course. Now it's actually created a form for us in this case. Now I don't know where that form's going to go, but the great thing about this method is you can actually just edit the HTML. So first let's just compare before and after. This is a nice clean salesy page, and then underneath, okay, the images look a bit better, but this was just a plain wall of text. So we've got a specific HTML code for the form, which makes it really easy to take out. So I'm hoping if I just do backspace, that looks pretty good. And now let's just tidy up this bit. Actually, even better, I'll show you how it's actually much easier to edit this with Elementor than you think, because I actually like this section at the bottom. So let's keep that, delete it from this section. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another HTML block. And the great thing about this, it does not break the page. So I've now created two Elementor blocks, even though I'm using static HTML, which means I can just come down here to my form and just drag that form back up. In fact, easier way to do this, let's just delete the text I had before, and then I'm just going to drag the form up here and I can place it in there. Now for all I know, maybe the form that was coded did actually reference everything underlying with the Elementor form, but I just don't want to take that risk right now, so that's fine. In fact, I think the images look a bit untidy as well. And when I've done this in the past, this button doesn't link to an anchor correctly. So let's just copy this section and we'll do the same again. So copy that hero image section, and we delete all of that. Now HTML block, put that at the top, put back what we had there before, and now go back to my old layout, grab the images because I preferred the images that I'd actually laid out, drag that up to the top, and I can just drop that in there. And now I go back to my HTML. I don't think Claude did a good job of this bit, so I can just take out that bit. Now I want to edit that button to make sure it works. So we can see it's got an anchor link to waitlist form. So that just means I need to grab an anchor and just drag that next to my form and paste in the ID waitlist form without the hash key. So don't need the old layout anymore, so I can delete all of that. Now if I preview my change, okay, I actually went back to Claude and asked for a couple of other variations. So I've generated this all as one HTML block, but now it looks pretty good. It's a shame it's put the stripe screenshot in here rather than at the top. So I could go back and get that adjusted, but overall I think this does the job really nicely. And I just love these layouts that would take so long to actually build manually with Elementor. But this has just been spat out in 5 minutes. And if I keep scrolling down, then we have our form at the bottom.